سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر.
Hi, I'm Maysa Kergaye. I'm a Muslim. I grew up all over the world. My preschool was in Syria. My kindergarten was in Dubai. My elementary school years were in Jordan. My junior high in Cyprus, the island. My high school in California. Then I got married and I went to Virginia for a year and then moved to Utah, where my husband is born and raised. I've raised 4, I guess they're adults now, children, and the oldest is a metallurgical engineer. My daughter is studying to be a doctor. My other daughter is an elementary school teacher, and my youngest is a computer science major. I love living in Utah. I've had the opportunity to raise my kids. We debated whether they go to public school or private school. But to have that grounding in who they are, we started an Islamic school. And my kids did attend that school for quite a few years, and I was the principal there for 3 years, where they got to learn some Arabic, even though none of them speak Arabic, but they can at least read it, and it grounded them in their faith. I worked there for 3 years, and then I got a chance to get a job at Salt Lake Community College teaching math. Math has always been a strong suit for me. I give the credit to my father. When I was young, he would be tutoring my older brother, who's 7 years older than me, and he would always let me sit in on his tutoring sessions. So I was learning without realizing it. And when my brother wouldn't know what to do next, I'm like, oh, it's easy, just do this. And my dad would look at me, he's like, your little sister got it and you didn't. So it made math fun for me. And my dad would make it into a magic trick. He's like, okay, think of 2 numbers. How much do they add up to? Use the same 2 numbers, subtract them. How much do they subtract to become? And then he would give me the answer. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Teach me. And so everywhere I'd go, I'd ask people, can I do a magic trick for you? So math became the only constant in my moving around, because in Jordan, it was in Arabic. In Cyprus, everything was taught in Greek. Moving to the US, it was in English, but math, its own language, was always a constant. So I ended up being very good at math and hence became a math teacher. I came to Utah at a very young age, 19, and I feel like it's my home. I grew up here, became part of the community, and we really got to know the neighbors on a personal level. And for those who don't want to know me for whatever reason, I'm not too bothered by it. In the interfaith world, some people tell me it sucks to be a minority in Utah, and I have to correct them and say, no, it just sucks to be a minority. But it's been my experience as it's better to be a minority in Utah than in any other state, from my experience. People are very welcoming. They've included my kids in the neighborhood. I have no complaints. Interfaith work is not the only way to get to know people. Zumba has been a big part of getting to know people. Whether on a personal level or being invited to teach in different wards for activity days or young women's. I actually taught at one church for almost a year on a weekly basis. Currently, I teach 6 Zumba classes a week, 3 yoga classes, and 1 muscle class. I get paid to exercise, I get paid to teach math, I get paid to do what I love. And sometimes I don't get paid. I do a lot of volunteer work. I work with refugees. I'm a connector in the community. So if I know if a refugee family needs a TV or needs a carpet or needs a bed, I just post it on Facebook And we live in an amazing neighborhood where people step up and say, oh, I have that item, I have that item. And then we deliver it to the families. One of my less favorite topics to talk about when I'm asked is about what's going on in politics around the world. It's hard for me because I don't feel like I have to answer for what other people do that has nothing to do with my faith. I don't feel other people have to answer for what Timothy McVeigh did or what other extremists do in the name of religion, so it bothers me if I have to talk and explain that I have nothing to do with 9/11 or any of the other things going on around the world. But to set the record straight, Islam is a very peaceful religion. It doesn't promote terrorism in any way. And if anybody does it in the name of religion, they're just using religion to further their agenda and their political views. One of my favorite presentations that we do is Women in Islam, because we like to set the record straight. Many people think that women in Islam are oppressed. The fact is, the highest conversion rate in Islam is women, and American women, because they find it very refreshing how many rights Muslim women have. We don't have to change our names when we get married. We don't take our husbands' names. Any money we earn from working is our money in a separate bank account. Our husband is required to be the provider and pay the bills. Women have pretty much one major role, which is to take care of their children, and many women love that role. Some people view the scarf as something that is oppressive, but it's very liberating. It makes me feel that I am who I am, and I shouldn't be judged by how pretty I look. I don't have to waste my time. So I don't feel anything in Islam holds me back. I feel it liberates me and allows me to be a stronger version of me.
ولا حول ولا قوة إلا